All right, guys. So, ELDs versus our hours of service. What is the bigger issue? What's the most pressing issue? What will be the most effective if changed in the industry? I was watching a video a couple days ago. I'm inspired, obviously, by a lot of videos I see on YouTube by other truckers. I guess you can call it piggybacking. Obviously, I have some of my own content, but there are just some things I like to respond to from time to time. There's a video that Truckers Coach did. Keep Truckin, the app. That is, it's an app you can get for your phone. That's an electronic logs app, basically. They had a petition. They started a petition to extend the 14-hour clock to 16 hours. The coach went on and basically kind of ranted about it, about how it was a great marketing ploy, but it was in poor taste, and why they don't start a petition to, cancel ELDs. And his answer obviously was because they are an ELD. It would be bad for business, and I agree with that. It would be. From a business standpoint, you also got to understand people are going to do what they got to do to increase their business potential. This is a great time for somebody like that. They're jumping aboard while they can. You can't really fault them for that. But what the thing that I'm kind of responding to isn't really that. It's the fact that ELDs are not the issue with this whole. People are having problems with the mandate ELD, and I understand. I mean, the fact it's mandated, just that sheer fact is bad. Regulations within our industry, though maybe some aren't a horrible idea, it's never good to force somebody to do something because, somebody that's pushing a pencil in Washington thinks that that's how we should do it, even though they've never been behind the wheel. I mean, hell, who knows? Maybe they haven't even been behind the wheel of their own car in months or years. They might get driven around, or they might be using, they may be using Uber or Lyft, and have been, since the invention of those two companies. They may not even drive anymore, period. And they're trying to tell us what to do. ELDs, all the ELD device is doing, the electronic logs device is doing, is keeping you legal, okay? It's following the regulations and the rules that are in the FMCSR, and it's making you abide by those rules. That's all it's doing. I don't mind the issue of extending the 14 to 16, and a problem Coach was having with that was that he was suggesting that means drivers are going to drive more hours for the same pay. Basically, I would assume he meant by the same pay as the 14. That's not true, though, because for one thing, extending the 14 to the 16 is doing nothing more than paper logs do by giving a driver the opportunity to doctor the logs and to make it look like, he started at this time instead of this time, to give him a couple extra hours to finish the run and collect his pay for the whole run in, one day rather than dragging it out into the next day. That's what extending it to the 16 will do. But at the same time, though, that's not really extending the 11. It's just giving you it's giving you a longer chance to drive the 11 hours. And if you can finish the 11 hours in that day, then that means you're going to get paid for all those miles. But if you don't finish the 11 in that day, then you don't get paid for all those miles. You get paid for the miles you drove that day. And then the next day, you'll finish the run, and then you'll get paid for those miles. Well, by extending the 16, you are going to get paid for, you're going to get paid sooner, I guess you can say, which gives you the chance the next day to start the pay clock, the pay over, the payday over, so to speak, so that you can start a new fresh day and start making new miles, for a new load, which by the end of the week, it'll all come out to more money for the driver. So, I don't know exactly what the angle was because, Coach knows what Coach isn't, an idiot. He's been driving long enough, so I would think that he would see it that way. But he was trying to suggest that, you're going to be driving more hours for the same money, but that's just not true, because you're simply you're going to be able to finish a run that you may not have been able to finish had the 14 hours still been the rule. As far as on duty goes, you can be on duty indefinitely. You just can't drive after you're 14. But you can be on duty indefinitely as it is. It destroys your 70 hours, but you never ever have to go off of on duty. You can be on duty for 20 hours straight, but it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Oh crap. Just got the yellow light on my reefer. Damn it. Go check out, see what that's all about here. See, I almost kind of like what Canada does. Canada, I think, has a pretty decent little setup going. They don't have a mandated 30-minute break, every 8 hours. And it's a 13-hour drive time and a 16-hour on-duty time. I think that's fantastic. I really do. I think that's a great. I think that should be adopted here in the United States. But that's my opinion. But it would give drivers a great opportunity to drive more and earn more every day. I just don't like being told, though, when people, when I should be tired and when I should pull over, because there's plenty of times where I'm just not tired, but oh look, my logs say I am tired, and that's because of somebody writing laws that have never been behind the wheel of a truck. So there's our industry is full of arbitrary regulations that do nothing but hurt the driver, and in some cases can make it more dangerous, because it's forcing us, to sleep when we're not tired, which makes us drive when we are tired, because we have to get we don't have a chance to pause the clock. That's something else too. I think we should be able to do is pause the clock. I don't think it should be all, willy-nilly pause the clock whenever you feel like, but I think that if you are on duty for 2 hours, it should be kind of like the split berth rule, where it's 2 hours and 8 hours in a way. I think that if you're sitting somewhere for 2 hours on duty, then after that 2 hours, you should be able to pause the clock. Because if you've been there for 2 hours, as it is, then who knows how much longer you're going to be there. 2 hours is kind of the going rate for a reefer driver, especially at a big warehouse. Drive-ins, the average amount of time is probably about half of that. The going rate, as far as an allotted amount of time that a reefer can expect to sit in the dock, is 2 hours. So anything after 2 hours, I would say pause the clock. Thinking, if, like I said, if you've been somewhere for 2 hours, then you should be able to pause the clock. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. But anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and respond to that. I got to go out here and check on this reefer and see what code it's throwing. At least it's 40 degrees outside, and my reefer has to be set at 40. So it's not like it's a big serious issue right now, but I do need to get it looked at. So anyways, guys, you have a good one out there, and stay safe, and hope you all are making some money. And we'll talk to y'all later.